Hello everyone. Welcome back to Coding Pathways, your destination for practical automation tutorials. Today we are diving into post API automation using REST assured in Java. Even if you are a complete beginner, don't worry. I will walk you through every step. So before we start coding, let's understand what a post API request actually means. In RESTful APIs, post is used to create a new resource on the server. We send data to the server, usually in JSON format. The server processes it, creates a new object, and responds with details like ID, timestamp, or status. Let's say you are signing up on a website. When you submit your details, the backend server receives that data via a post request, saves your details in a database, and returns confirmation. In our demo today, we will simulate something similar by sending user details to the REqRes API. Okay, so this URL we will be using. And and before jumping to the code, we should make sure that we have Java installed, we have Maven project ready, as well as we need dependencies like REST assured, JSON.simple, and TestNG. So we can check. I have already created one project here, Maven project here, and this is the form.xml file. So we have REST assured, TestNG attached, and I have also added JSON-simple dependency to handle with JSON data. Okay, you can also add this dependency from Maven repository. So I can show you the URL. So this URL you can use, and here you can search for the dependency you need, and you can add it like selecting it's automatically copied, and you can add to your form.xml. And when you will save it, the required libraries will be added automatically. Okay. So now our setup is ready. So, so today is our session 7. So I am going to create one package here with the name as session 7. And inside this, I am going to create one class. So let's say test post API. Okay. I'm not selecting this public static void main because we are using TestNG for this session. I'm just clicking on finish. So class is created. So inside this class, I am going to create one method void. So post API test, post API demo. Okay. And because we are using TestNG here, So I am annotating this method with test. When we hover on this, so we will get the prompt that recommendations we can import test from TestNG. Okay. And let's go to our notes. So this is the URL we are going to use. Okay. So I am just copying it here for our ready reference. So let's go to this REQ, RES. Okay. So this is the URL, and today we are going to perform post request. So here we have different types of requests. So I'm just selecting this. So response code is when we send this request, post request. So one resource will be created on the basis of our uh, uh, body, whatever JSON data we will provide, and we will be getting 201 response. Okay, and we can also ensure that what will be the URL. Okay, this should be the URL. So already we have already added this to here. Okay, this one. Same here. So first of all, what we need to do. So we have created one simple class. We have created one method here. So and we have annotated with @test. Then now what we can do? So first of all, we need to prepare JSON request body. So we need to prepare JSON request body. So prepare JSON request body. How we can prepare JSON object, JSON data. You can take it as an object, JSON data will store the data. Okay. So new JSON object. Just hover on this. So you will get import JSON object from org.json. So it is now added. So what type of data is there? Let's go to the REQRES. So this is name and job. Okay. So we can pass we can pass data like this. JSON data we can use put, and first we have name. Okay, name. So here we can pass the name like John. Okay. And JSON data dot put. So here we can pass the job. So let's say QA. Okay. What next? So what next? So we are creating a JSON object containing user data. So here we are simulating sending John as the name and QA as the job title. Then what next? Now we need to set the API endpoint. So how we can set that? So we need to set the API endpoint. So let me comment it. Set the API endpoint. So how we can set this? Okay. So we can use REST assured dot base URI and we can pass this URI. Okay. We can pass this URL. So we have set our target endpoint, the REqRES API URL, where we will send our data. Now what next we need to do? Next we need to prepare and send the post request. So we need to prepare and send the post request. So how we can achieve this? So we can achieve like this: rest assured dot given, okay, dot given and header. So we can pass into header. Okay, so can take this. So here we need to pass this. So in our case, for this REqRES, we need to pass the API key. And how we can get this API key? We just scroll up and get a free API. Okay. So this we will be using. Okay. So we can take it. We can pass like this. This is the API ID. And here we can pass the value. Okay. Key and value we are passing them. This is for authentication. So I will prepare one separate session for this, but for the time being, you need to understand that this is the authorization key we need to pass to send the data and to create the new resource on the server. Then what next we need to do here? So we need to pass the content type. Okay. So how we can pass here? Content type dot. What is content type? Content type is JSON. Okay. Then dot. What we need to pass? The body. So how we can pass here? JSON data. So user data is where user data is stored. User data is stored here in JSON data object. So what we can do? Dot to JSON string. Okay. Then we can perform the dot. This is not header. This is not header. This is header. Okay. Now it will work. Okay. So JSON data dot post. So here we are performing post API. So what it will return? It will return the response. So RESPONS. Just save it into RES object. Just hover on this response and import response from RestAssured response. Okay. Then what next? What next we can do here? So first of all, we can understand this. So dot given initializes the request. So dot given initializes the uh, request, and dot header adds a simple header where we are passing the API key. And dot content type dot JSON specifies we are sending JSON data. And dot body attaches our JSON payload. And dot post finally sends the post required request. So the response from the server is stored in the RES object. So we are storing the response into RES object. Then what next we can do here? Okay, now let's say we are going to validate the response code. So as we have already seen, so what will be the response code? Because we are going to create resource on the server, so response code should be 201. Okay, this would be 201. So how we can retrieve it? Dot get status code. Okay, so this would return an integer. So integer response code. Okay. And we can print it here using a print statement. So response code. Okay. And response code. Okay. Can pass the this here. And one more thing we can do. We can also verify here. We can also validate this response code. So how we can validate? We can use assert equal, okay, and let's check. This should TestNG. So we need to use assert from TestNG. First we need to pass the actual, then we need to pass the expected, and if it doesn't match, then we can provide here message to print on the console. Okay, so we can provide here one message: response code is not matching. Okay, so I'm just saving. Control Shift and F for formatting, Control S for saving. And what else we can do? Okay, so here we are fetching the response code. Since we are creating a new resource, so we expect HTTP status 201, that is created. Resource is created. So we validate this using assert equals. And finally, what we can do? We can print the response body as well. So how we can print the response body? So in the response body. So how we can print it here? The response body. RES dot get body dot as pretty string. So what it will return? It will return the string. So we can store this into response body, and we can print here. So using print statement here, response body. Okay. And saving it. So finally, we are printing the complete response body in a formatted style for easy reading. So let's run our code and see we are getting expected output or not, and it is creating the resource or not. It is printing. First, it will print the response code. It should be 201. Then we are validating and verifying this code here, and we are printing the entire response body. So right click and run as TestNG test. Let's see what happens. Okay. Yes. So response code 201 is printed here on the console, as well as per expectation, response body is also printed. Okay. So as we can see, the API returned the new ID and timestamp, confirming the user creation. Okay. And today that's it. So today what we learned here. So we learned how post API works, how to build JSON request body, how to send post request using REST assured, how to validate response code and print the response. So this is the exact foundation you will need to build powerful API automation framework. That's it. So if you found this video helpful, please like, share, comment, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more practical automation tutorials. Stay tuned. In the next video, we will be learning how to extract data from the API responses using JSON path and lots of other things into the coming video. Thanks for watching this.